What's up, guys? I just wanted to quickly just talk about the kind of build that I really recommend for your mechanical mod. Now, I have a authentic rig V2. This is the black chrome edition. It's a copper mod. Freaking love this thing. But my biggest problem when I first got into mechs, my first one was a Limitless. I would not really know, the right kind of build, because I wanted to produce some good clouds and I wanted the flavor. So I was like, what kind of coil setup should I do? Going out of vape shops, not really getting a final answer. Here's this great build. Here, buy this one. Okay, I buy this one, I install it. And I'm sitting here waiting on it. Then it finally produces a decent cloud, and then your battery dies. So you have to have it preheated pretty much with some coils to get a good vape out of it. It's kind of annoying. So I got into learning to make my own coils. One, it's cheaper, sort of, but instead of going out and spending a couple dollars on a set of coils and then taking them out, throwing them in a little case like I do with mine, and just be like, what next? So I have all this wire that I can select from and make my own coils the way I want them. And I finally have gotten it down to what I think I like, but tomorrow I'm trying something different, okay? I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, show you my build, and then I'm going to explain to you what I plan to do tomorrow and why I plan to do it and why I don't use fused claptons and stuff like that. Let's go to down below and take a good look at these coils. Alright, so it might look a little blurry. That's just some smoke in the air. Some vapor in the air, actually. So, like my big bottle of juice. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. This is a Rig V2 with the roughneck. I hate this. I hate this so much. You have no idea. That's so annoying. But I love it. I believe there's only 1,000 of these made when they first came out. I think they actually sell them on the site now. This is one of the 1,000. Copper button. Super rigid. I freaking love this thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the coil setup I have in here. So this is super simple. It's literally just 5 wraps of 20 gauge nichrome 80 coil wire. Just 5 wraps. They're tightly squeezed together. They heat evenly on both sides from the center out. And this works perfectly with this roughneck setup, which is, I believe, how the TENN-DEE RDA is. It looks just like this, where the positive post is taller than the negative posts. Okay, so when you wrap one lead is going to be higher than the other. See how this wire is going this way and this one's going this way? Now, one thing people don't talk about, and I didn't quite understand when I first got into these coil building things here, is the direction you wrap. AKA, say, let's pretend I was wrapping on the screwdriver. If I start the wire on the left side underneath the screwdriver and wrap it around to where the right side is above the screwdriver, the other one has to be the same way. I didn't think about this for a while, but then if you take your wire on top of it and wrap a coil the same way, the same direction, you're going to get a flip-flop build. So this one lines up perfectly to go in this way, but as you can see, this one's the other way. Now, you can flip it over, but that doesn't do anything. See how this one on the right is higher than the one on the left. Notice that this one, the one in the left, is higher than the one on this side. So these, you have to make them the exact same way. Now the roughneck doesn't have a whole lot of room, but it has just enough room. So I've got enough room to put this 5 wrap coil in here. I don't have to push it over very much. I just have it pushed together. I have room to run my lead underneath the cotton over here. I have room to wick it underneath the coil on both sides here, and I've got more than enough room over here, but I take advantage of that by wicking it properly. You've got enough room in the roughneck to put 2 pieces of 20 gauge wire right next to each other so that it clamps them down perfectly. As you can see, they're next to each other, not stacked. Actually, it's really hard to tell. All you're seeing in there is the screw, but they're next to each other. There you go. See, they're right next to each other. So you have enough room in this deck to do that. Like I said, this is just 20 gauge wire. There you are. So you get them pretty close like this when you wrap them, and then you can straighten out your leads. Something that's pretty smart to do is to take one of these, like to wrap it where these are 90 degrees off, and then bend it up and back, and that way that it works with the offset. But I don't bother doing that. The way I do it like that is just perfectly fine. It works out perfectly, really. Now I'll show you the fuse claptons that I try to put in here. Sorry, my chair is really annoying. They still got cotton in them. The cotton is fine, so I'll leave it in there. But here's the fuse claptons that I purchased for this. Let's get it to focus here. There they are. See, they're pretty small for a wire. It's probably like 28 gauge or something like that, and it's wrapped with like 36. That's what it looks like. But the problem with this build is you're asking too much of a single 18650 mech mod, focus, to heat up those coils to them at the same time, and to get enough heat to vaporize the juice. Don't get me wrong, I love fuse claptons, but for this kind of mod, you really should stick with your single wire builds, okay? Now this is 20 gauge, like I said. I plan to go tomorrow and get a couple feet of 18 gauge, but I'll let you get a zoom look with a squeaky chair at the build. Now this build I built a couple days ago, and I took it out to put those claptons in. All I did was I put them back in and I cleaned them and then rewicked it. That's what I love about these coils, they last so long. So this works pretty good. Most shops will sell a roll for probably $15 or something like that. I know the shop that I go to, they sell 100 feet for 15 bucks. But if you're just wanting to trial and error just a little bit, I would just go buy it by the foot. Most shops sell like 50 cents a foot or something like that. So I'm gonna go get like 2 feet of 18 gauge just in case I like it, so I can build more coils with it. 3 feet, maybe 4 feet, something. I'll stick with 4 feet, so it's just $2. So that's that. So let's zoom back out. I'll show you, tell you what I got here. So when I first got into vaping, my buddy gave me this big bottle, and what was in it was about that much of sour green apple 3 milligram. Man, that was some really good juice. I loved it. That was actually giving me the formal Rockstar breakfast, which tastes like Fruity Pebbles. This is absolutely my favorite juice at the moment. So I've got this 200 ml bottle from that apple, sour green apple. Man, this stuff is so good. Paint. No, I just did this, so I'm not gonna put much on there. It's starting to rain now, so see you guys later.